good, everybody? It's your boy Days, SLK, stay low key. Hope all y'all niggas out there having a good day today, man. So I want to talk about this James Harden situation. So last night, the Houston Rockets played the Los Angeles Lakers, and they got their ass whooped, man. LeBron James hit a three-pointer, and when he shot the three, he just turned around and looked at Dennis Schroeder, and that shit went right in. Him and his teammates start going crazy, man. And James Harden had a pretty bad game. For the last 4 games, James Harden has been shooting 30% from the field, and he's been averaging about like 17 points per game. And after the game at the press conference, he straight up, told the media that the Lakers are just a better team. And he said he's given everything he has to Houston, and he doesn't feel like there's anything they can do to be a better team as far as talent, and as far as skill, and as far as chemistry. And after that, he just got up and left. He only answered 2 questions and stormed out. Now, my initial thoughts about the situation, man, I think James Harden was extremely disrespectful. For you to say something like that, because number one, I seen that the commentator for the game had made a joke saying that James Harden had a meal before the game or something like that, because James Harden is overweight. He came into this basketball season about 30 pounds overweight. On top of that, he didn't show up for training camp. He was partying with Lil Baby in Atlanta and shit like that. And, he ended up having to, because he violated the COVID protocol, he ended up having to, pretty much miss the first 4 games of the season. So James Harden is not in shape. He hasn't been showing any type of love and support to his teammates. He got into a fight with one of the rookies on the team when he first came back and was training, threw a basketball at his face. James Harden has been acting like a diva this entire season because obviously he would like to be traded from the Houston Rockets. Now, what I don't understand about the situation is the Houston Rockets don't deserve this, because this franchise has done everything in their power to put James Harden in the best position to win an NBA championship. They got Dwight Howard while he was still in his prime, right after he left the Los Angeles Lakers. Didn't work out with Dwight Howard. James Harden wanted him gone. Dwight Howard was traded. After that, they ended up getting Chris Paul. Chris Paul came to the Houston Rockets. They ended up going to the conference finals against the Golden State Warriors. They were up, I think, 3-1 or 3-2, something like that. Probably 3-2. Chris Paul ended up messing up his hamstring. Couldn't come back for the rest of the playoffs. Ended up losing. The following year, I think they got bounced out of the second round. And after that, James Harden said that he wanted Chris Paul out of there. Wasn't getting along with Chris Paul. So what happens? They trade Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook comes in last season. They played pretty well together up until the season was stopped, and they ended up having to go to the bubble. And next thing you know, they lose to the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round. And James Harden says that, or Russell Westbrook pretty much says he wants to get the fuck out of there. So Russell Westbrook gets traded to the Wizards. Mike D'Antoni gets fired. And Daryl Morey ends up going to the 76ers. So James Harden is like, well, fuck it, I'm leaving too. I've been here for a couple of years and I haven't won a championship. I want to get out of here. Pretty much told the world he wanted to go to the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets were not willing to give up any of their superstars in exchange for James Harden. Tried to get him to the 76ers. They don't want to give up Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. So they pretty much wanted to try to keep James Harden for at least the rest of the season, or at least until the trade deadline, because they want to get something back that they feel like is the same value as a guy like James Harden. You know what I'm saying? So what's happening is James Harden is frustrated because he's so used to getting his way with Houston. Whenever he didn't like a player, they got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't show up to training camp a lot. The guy was taking private jets everywhere and shit like that. This Houston Rockets organization has pretty much programmed James Harden to believe that he's bigger than the NBA, and he most definitely feels like he's bigger than that team. And that's why you see James Harden playing 30 pounds overweight or 15 pounds overweight. That's why you see him only scoring 17 points a game, shooting 30%, because he doesn't want to be there. So he's doing everything in his power to try to get this team to understand he wants to get the fuck out of Houston. You know what I'm saying? But what I find disrespectful is for you to say, because let's be honest, the Houston Rockets, they've only played about 10 games so far this season. For you to say after the 9th game that your team has played, because when they first started, they looked great. I mean, they have Christian Woods, Demarcus Cousins, John Wall. The Houston Rockets don't look like a bad team. They look fucking amazing in preseason before James Harden even got. They actually look better without James Harden than when he came back. Because we all know James Harden likes to dribble, shoot, dribble, Euro step, dribble, all type of goofy shit James Harden be doing. He likes to hold the ball in his hands. So for you to say that after you guys lost to the Los Angeles Lakers, because it's not like you guys lost to a bad team. You guys lost to the team that just won the fucking NBA championship, you bitch ass nigga. So why the fuck are you acting like the Houston Rockets losing to the Lakers? You acting as if you acting as if, you know what I'm saying? Like you gonna throw your teammates under the bus? You're gonna say that your team lacks the skill? You're gonna say that your team lacks the chemistry? The team lacks the chemistry because everybody knows you don't want to be there, you goofy ass nigga. See, I still remember James Harden before he had the big beard when he was on OKC. When he had the brush cut, no beard. One of the ugliest, I think after Sam Cassell, one of the ugliest niggas to ever dribble the basketball in the NBA, in NBA history. See, I remember that James Harden, the one that came off the bench. You know what I'm saying? The one that was playing with KD and Russ. I remember when James Harden was the little nigga. And I noticed ever since he grew that goddamn beard out so he can cover his ugly ass face, and ever since he got that mohawk, now you see him with the twist with the receding hairline. James Harden has an ego. His ego is out of control. And look, man, I understand you want to get traded, bro, but dog, at least have the respect to give it a chance, man. You're under contract for 2 more years in Houston, bro. You're under contract for 2 more years. They don't have to trade you if they don't want to trade you, bro. You're getting paid to play. You're getting paid millions of dollars to dribble a fucking basketball, bro. If you really want to get traded, man, do the right thing and just play the rest of your contract out, because obviously they can't get a trade for you, so it's not too much they can do. They tried to get you to where you want to go. They tried to get you to the Brooklyn Nets. They couldn't do it. They tried to get you to the 76ers. They don't want to trade Ben Simmons. Dog, for you to throw John Wall, Demarcus Cousins, Eric Gordon, all of these people that you're on the same team with, for you to throw these guys under the bus and say that they lack the skill, and for you to just say we're just not good enough, for you to say that, man, that's like a slap in your face to all of your teammates, bro. I'm gonna be honest, that's one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen a player on a team say about his teammates. It's just classless. It's classless. It's disrespectful. And I seen that Demarcus Cousins had a press conference, and he basically said, "Look, man, I didn't take offense to it because I came here to play with John Wall. I didn't come here to play with James Harden. I came here to play with John Wall." For those that don't know, Demarcus Cousins and John Wall played basketball together in college in Kentucky, so they already have a history of playing together. You know what I'm saying? But John Wall, because John Wall responded to what James Harden said too, and John Wall said, "Look, man, it's only been 10 games. It's only been 10 games and you already want to throw the towel? You know what I'm saying? You already want to just give up and say you want to leave? I mean, the shit just makes no sense, man. It's only been 10 fucking games and you already want to throw in the towel and shit on us and say that we lack the skill to be good." You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, obviously John Wall, he just came from the Washington Wizards, and who wouldn't want to play with a guy that has the skill set of James Harden. Because let's be honest, James Harden is most definitely one of the best players in the NBA. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's a lot of things I don't like about his game, and it's a lot of things I don't like about James Harden as a person. But for me to sit here and say that James Harden is a bad overall basketball player, I'd be lying. When it comes to skill set and scoring and putting that ball in the basket, he's most definitely a top 10 player in the NBA, hands down. You know what I'm saying? But him as a team player, he's one of the worst players in the NBA. I think he's a worse team player than Russell Westbrook. I think Russell Westbrook gets shitted on a lot for the wrong reasons. I think Russell Westbrook is actually a good team player, man. He may not have the highest basketball IQ. He may not be able to shoot threes as good as the other guards in the NBA today. But if we're talking about like a team player, somebody that can make your team better to where you can compete for a championship, I think Russell Westbrook is most definitely better than what people say about him, man. I just think he gets a lot of negativity thrown his way simply because he can't shoot threes like. Because today in the NBA, everybody can shoot threes. Point guard, shooting guard, small forwards, power forwards, centers. Everybody can shoot threes these days. So because Russell Westbrook is just not a good shooter, it's like people shit on his entire game. They don't think about him getting to that free throw line and how he gives 110% as far as his energy the entire game. How he can his mid-range jumper is really good. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm extremely disappointed with James Harden. I think that, and this is another thing, right? Now, at this point, we all know that James Harden is going to be on a new team very soon, probably within the next 24 to 48 hours, because the Houston Rockets already announced that James Harden he's not gonna be a part of the team until they can get rid of him. So he's gone. He's gonna be gone. He may not go to the team he wants to go to, but he's definitely gonna be on a new team within 24 to 48 hours for sure. But this is the thing that James Harden doesn't understand. James Harden is showing the entire NBA who he really is, because for a long time you don't really see James Harden voice. You hear a lot of negative things about James Harden, but you never really seen it up close until last night when he said what he said in that press conference. Last night was when you really got to see, so this is who you really are. Yes, this is him, bro. James Harden, his ego is out of control. He's selfish. He's not a good team player. And he only gives a fuck about himself. This is really how he is, man. And we got to see that last night. Everybody got to see that up and close last night at that press conference when he pretty much shitted on his entire team, his coach, his teammates. He shitted on the whole organization. And what James Harden has to understand is, for somebody that's looking to go to a team like the Brooklyn Nets or the Philadelphia 76ers, right now, these teams are looking at you like you're a cancer. I don't think Joel Embiid wants to play with a guy like James Harden. I don't think Giannis wants to play with a guy like James Harden.